Okay, so we originally had this project to level the floor because the floor was uneven, so we hired a contractor to come in and do the work. And this is how the board was originally. Okay, so when he came in and did the work, what he did was he ended up pulling up this board and flipping it around and calling it good. So he was squatting down over this end over here and pressing on this board, showing our mother, look, it's even, and it was. So she said, okay, great. But what he didn't show her is that when you pressed on this corner over here, it went below the rest of the subfloor. Okay, now what he did to try and remedy this is that he installed this tiny little piece of wood right there into that corner and put the board back down so that when you pressed on that corner it was even, but over here it still went below the rest of the subfloor. So obviously the board is not even. Now we got suspicious, so we pulled it up to take a look at it, and if you notice this board here, taking a look, this is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 3/4 of an inch. And going all the way along here, starting here, you can see the damage to this board, which he obviously saw given the fact that he's the one that pulled the board up. So he knew this board was damaged, and he tried to put it down anyway and hide the fact that it was damaged by installing something to try and even out at least this corner of the damaged end, and by squatting over it, trying to hide the rest of the fact that the board still went below the subfloor. So he did not do the job that we had hired him to do, which was level the floor. Okay, now if you look at this board over here, this is what 3/4 inch plywood is supposed to look like. Okay, this board is not damaged. And this is what we thought he was going to come in to install. We just had to go and get this ourselves. On top of that, he felt the need to bust up our baseboards. Now that little piece right there, he broke off into 2 pieces, and he threw that in the garbage. We found that in the garbage. Okay, so then the rest of this baseboard, he broke away from the house in what is probably a good 4 or 5 feet. I mean, it's just absolutely cracked. It's ridiculous. So what started off as a simple project to just level the floor has turned into a lesson in do not hire this particular contractor.